What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project, the last of the DLC cars. This is the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, the standard edition, not the wide body one. And we got ours from the auction house. This one is available from everywhere, the auction, salon, barn, or the junkyard. Ours is from the auction house, and it's pretty good apart from that frame being at 10%. Everything else is above 50%. So we're quite happy with that one. Did we get a good deal on our Challenger? Absolutely not. I bought it for 66,984 and could only sell it for 58,018, losing out on 8,966 before we even begin. Obviously, we're going to have to try and win a drag tournament to claw back most of that before we come to sell the car. The engine in this one is the same as the wide body, the V8 6.2 Hemi Hellcat with 707 factory horsepower. Obviously, this one is probably going to turn out a little bit more powerful than the wide body one because we're now using the TKAftermarket mod, so we can add some more performance parts to this. Obviously, in the engine bay, where's the battery sit in this beast? Down the back? Where is the battery? Am I missing a battery? Okay, let's just... Oh, it is down the back. There we go. Let's get down the back and have a look at that. Obviously, sitting on its new tray and rack, we also have a new battery that will go in there a bit later on as well today. So, we're looking forward to that one. Obviously, the new suspension parts. We've got rubber bushings. They can increase the performance part. We've obviously got bigger brakes, better brake calipers, and pinions, whatever they're called, that go in them as well to make it just that little bit more powerful than the standard edition. While we're here, huge congratulations to Preston LK with that beautiful Tempest Magnum there. Absolutely fantastic. Obviously, you can see the car it is based on just underneath. What a fantastic job. Definitely deserve the win of that competition. Enjoy your new DLC code. We do have 2 more runners up still to announce. I believe one of them's already got the code, but we'll come to announce the other one as soon as we got some confirmation. So do keep your eyes peeled on competitions to see who's been the runners-up as well. Obviously, I will announce them here. But we do have a new competition started, no prizes, and we are going to be working on Payne's beautiful 675 LT, or the P11, the new McLaren that Payne has put up there. So head over to competitions, check that out, link in the competitions to go and download it from Steam, a link in the description below to get over to the Red Dot Games Discord server where you can join in the competitions. But let's crack on with this beautiful, beautiful Hellcat. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. In the car wash with the Hellcat, let's get it cleaned. We can see that it is predominantly red already. But what else have we got going on here? We have a odd coloured mint green panel on there. Nothing else. It's looking pretty good in the red, but definitely not what we're going for. I've already tested the livery. You've seen the thumbnail. You know what's going on at this point. I don't. I envy you because I have got to do all of this yet and figure out how everything's going to go. So there we go. That's the car all cleaned. Let's get it back on the lifter. Get that engine ripped out of there. Get everything else stripped down. Challenger's up in the air. Let's check for the oil pan. A massive oil pan on there. So let's just get that all drained out. Nice and easy. Quite a modern car. Should be clean. It's not clean in any way, shape or form. Quite a lot of it in there, though. There we go. Finally finished with that. Let's get you put away and let's get underneath and start tearing some of this stuff out. We are missing straight away the drive shaft. So I'm just going to add that to my shopping list so we don't forget it. There we go. Out with that little starter in there. That is in, which is always a good sign. And off with the Hellcat gearbox. Nice and easy. We will obviously grab these front exhaust sections while we're here. And should we just grab the rest of the exhaust? We'll grab all of the exhaust while we're here. There we go. Out you come. And then we should be able to rip that engine block out of there and get everything tore down and ready to start going. Obviously, we're going to clear the engine bay first. See what's in there. See what liquids need drain and things like that. But can we pull you out? We can indeed. That is what we like. Let's get the crane put away and see what else we've got going on inside the engine bay. So obviously now the battery, the new tray and all of that. Fuel tank and fuel pump are all sitting at the back and they're all there. There is nothing missing from the front end. We do have 2 coolant reservoirs, one on this side, one on this side. It is a very powerful car, so it does need 2 coolant reservoirs. We've also got the wishy-washy reservoir, the power steering reservoir, and the brake servo that all need draining up there. We've got the air filter, fuse box, ABS pump and module. We've got the ECU and a radiator just down here, and I believe that is everything. So let's get all these liquids drained out then. Starting with, I don't know, but right click, additional tools, drain tool, and then just click and hold on the container and it will drain all of the liquids out. They're all pretty full, so it might take just a moment to get through. but we'll get through them. Then we'll get everything stripped, and when we come back, it'll be time to sort out the bodywork on this beautiful Hellcat. That's everything for the Challenger, repaired, replaced, or upgraded for the mechanical. And before we jump into the bodywork, let's just go into our inventory and take a look at some of the new stuff. Nothing new for the gearbox setup there. Nothing new for the exhaust. But if we go into the brake section, we can see we've got new brake rotors, front and rear, whichever way around it is. So make sure you get them. You will need some other pieces, but we'll go through them. And new brake pads, obviously new brake calipers, and the set of pistons to go with each brake caliper on there. Fantastic. Into the suspension, we have the new brake rotor shields. Obviously, there's front and rears, two different ones. The rears, there is two different types. There's the 4-pin and the 3-pin. So just make sure you buy the right one. And if you buy the wrong one, just sell it and buy the other one. It is nice and simple. There is a front set of them to go as well. Then we got small rubber bushings. And as you can see, these are now adding a performance increase. The large rubber bushings are also adding a performance increase. We've gone for green today. You've already seen the livery, you know the colours. Then we got a new front sway bar. This only works if you've got the front sway bar A on the vehicle. If it's front sway bar B, you can't swap it out to this one. But it does add some more performance. Front disc shields, whatever you want to call them, also adding a little bit of performance. And then we got the billet lower control arms. Now, there are upper and lower ones. This build doesn't need the upper ones, so we're not going to be bothering showing them today. But they are cool looking. They change how it looks a little bit, but they don't add any performance. But there we go. That's all the brakes and suspension stuff. Then there is a few new engine pieces. Let's just go down through here. We obviously have A and B idle rollers. They come in 3 different varieties. There's this one here, a red one or a chrome one. We've just gone for the normal one. We're going to paint them later, but they do add a little bit more performance increase, like in that. Scroll down through, and then we've got obviously the new battery, which does add a little bit of performance, and then obviously the billet battery tray. There is a standard battery tray, a billet battery tray, and then 4 branded ones, Chevrolet, Volkswagen. I can't remember. If you've got it, have a look. Just play around with it. Chrome rods for the billet tray. There is normal rods for the tray as well, which you can use either, and then a billet tray bracket on the top there. That's all the new pieces we're using for this one today, so let's get stuck into this bodywork and start tearing it all down. Off you come, out you go. We'll obviously be grabbing them headlights as well. Out you come, out with the windshield, out with the door, the body window on there, trunk window, rear window, whatever you want to call it. Trunk, rear bumper, and tail lights. Off you come, off you come. No body window on that side. Door, mirror, and window. There we go. And we've obviously got some beautiful new interior, so let's get all of this out. See what we can do with the colours on that later. And obviously that new steering wheel. I do like that steering wheel. I think it looks pretty good. Let's get in, though. Have we got everything? That's not the screen I want to be on. 1% on there, and nothing showing up on there. We have got it. Frames at 10%, and I bought it for a little over 66,000. What do we reckon? I'm going to say 1750, 1250. Not far off at all. Let's just jump in and have a quick look at the bodywork. No tuning options. It's just the normal bodywork on here. Last one of our beautiful DLC cars. It is all like for like, so we're just going to work on with that. Start getting it all back together, then get it into the paint shop to show you that beautiful custom livery I've made for this one today. I hope you like it. But yes, do grab the TK Aftermarket mods. If you are on PC, it is definitely worth it. I just finished scrapping off everything we don't need for our beautiful Hellcat, and I decided, why not? Let's just make everything performance on this 3-star, including the new TK Aftermarket product. So let's see how much it costs us to get all of this done. So I'm going to ramp through quickly, find all of these that have got a performance increase, get them all increased as much as I can by making them all 3-star. And I'll be back in a minute and I'll let you know just how many scrap it costs to do all of this, including the TK Aftermarket parts. Well, there we go. Everything that is a performance part or increases it. These have gone up from a 0.25 to 0.33%. So everything that's performance has got a 3-star increase. Everything is so much more powerful. This Hellcat is going to be wild. And it cost, including all the TK Aftermarket stuff, 12,168 scrap to get all of this done. Absolutely fantastic. But let's get back in and let's get our Hellcat all back together. In we go, and let's just crack on with this. In fact, should we start with the interior? Let's get all of that in. We've already seen all the Hellcat interior before from when we did the wide body. So let's just get it all in, and then let's crack on and start getting this body all back together. Obviously, everything is just like for like, so let's just get it all back in. On you go. I do like that hood. It looks fantastic. Obviously, this is a little bit slimmer than the first one we did because that was the wide body variant, considerably wider than this one, but it still looks so good, and I cannot wait to get my custom livery onto it and see how good it looks. And see if I've done a good job or not. You guys are going to have to let me know whether I've done a good job in the comments below. But you have already seen the thumbnail, so let's just get around so that we can crack on with this beautiful build. I've still got to paint the engine and everything to match it yet. And obviously, we've got to get that livery on there. That's everything bodywork-wise. We've got a lovely plate at the back there. I've just gone for Lucky on a VM plate. That will all make sense when the livery is on there. But is that everything? 100%, 100%, 100% it is. And let's get this beautiful Hellcat into the paint shop and get on that livery. Well, here's what we've gone for on the beautiful Lucky Hellcat today. Lucky makes sense because we've got these golden 4-leaf clovers ghosted into the stripes on there. Looking absolutely fantastic. Only popping in the right light. We've also got the SRT still in black with the Hellcat logo in a gold there. And just Hellcat written up the side of the hood there. Looking absolutely fantastic in that gold lettering. Now, the finishes we've gone for, because I will be releasing this one onto the workshop. Metalness is all the way up. Roughness is at 0.2. And clear coat is at 0.1 for that one. And the actual colour is 122 in the hue, 100 in saturation, and 75 in the brightness. I've already got it on, but we will just reapply it just for good measure, even though it cost me another 1,000 again. But there we go. Off we come of that. I have also already done a little bit on the interior. Now, the rear bench is just officially in a steel black. That's it. The front seats are in a steel black and a copy of that metallic green, looking beautiful. And the steering wheel is also in a steel black and that metallic green. We do lose a little bit of the details on the buttons, but I think the steering wheel looks pretty good in that green with the SRT badge in the black, the same as it is on the side of the body. I think this livery looks fantastic. I love the ghosting of the 4-leaf clovers that really pop in the sunlight or artificial light, as the case may be. Might be quite hard to get some photos of it later, but we shall see. But that's it. That's what we're going to go for. Let's open this hood. It is lovely and green in there, so we're going to use plenty of black and gold on that engine to really make it stand out. A couple of splashes of the green on there as well, just for good measure. But that's what we're going for. Looks fantastic so far. I love this livery. I'm going to crack on and get everything else painted. Then we can start getting this beast all back together before tearing up the drag strip a little bit later on with all its 3-star performance parts. That's everything painted on Lucky, the beautiful Hellcat. Looking absolutely stunning in there. I really think this livery is beautiful. Let's just quickly jump inside and see what we've done to the interior. If we go in, you can see, as I said, we've lost some of the details on the buttons on the steering wheel, but it looks good in green and black. Then the seats, the bases are green. These seats don't quite fit in here perfectly, but there we go. The bases of the front seats are green along with the backrests, and then that rear bench is just in that steel black, looking good on there. I love this livery. I love how in certain lights you can't see any of the Lucky clovers on the stripes, and then that gold just pops through as the light reflects off it. I think it looks fantastic. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments down below. But we need to start getting this suspension all together. Let's get these shocks together. We've got black shocks, gold springs, and black caps on there. They're looking pretty good on the underside. Let's get in and start getting this all together, though. Starting with that front suspension cross member, which we've done in that metallic green. And now we're going to see some clips of it all going in, and then we'll talk about it in a moment. Just fitting on that last brake caliper for one side of the suspension in the Brumbo. There we go. Brumbo brake calipers or brake setups, because we're using more than just the calipers. Looking good in the green, the gold, the black. Got the main cross member in the green. And then all of the controlling, supporting arms, whatever you want to call them, in that lovely gold. And then everything else blacked on there. I did buy green rubber bushings and then proceeded to paint them black because I didn't quite like how they looked. Black, gold, black, should I say, on the springs. We've even got the sway bar rear end link in a gold with the sway bar in a black on there with a gold cover. And then all the brake setup looking pretty good. Up the front, still got that green and cross member. Everything else in the black and gold. You've got gold on the lower arms, gold on the plate, gold on the springs, black on the shocks, black on the knuckle, black on the sway bar Even got gold on the steering rack and outer tie rod. All looking pretty good. Obviously, black rubber bushings again. Changed them all to black after I spent ages making sure they were all green. But let's move on. The one thing you can't do is you can't do the battery down the back with the tray and the connecting anymore. So we'll have to come back to that one in a bit. Fuel tank is just in a black on there, and the fuel pump is in that green, just to keep it all matched in. Looking very nice on there. Now we're going to crack on, get the other side of the suspension all finished, come back, sort out that engine bay and the battery just behind there, and then we'll go and build that beautiful Hellcat Hemi. That's all the suspension finished in green, gold, black, and then just a tiny splash of red from them brake calipers. They don't paint overly well if you want to keep the Brumbo logo on there. If you don't want to keep the logo on there, you can paint them any color you want, absolutely fantastically, especially with the quality of life mod. I'm not sure if you can paint them normally. Haven't tried myself yet, but there we go. Looking fantastic. What do you think of that suspension? Do let me know in the comments. But let's move on to the engine bay. Obviously, we've already got that fuse box in there. The ABS pump itself is in a gold with the module just in a cheeky little black on top of it. In you go in there. Looking good. Then we've got the power steering reservoir and coolant reservoir B. I was going to say A because there's two, but we'll go with B. Then we've got the air filter base, which we've just done in a black on there with that lovely red performance air filter, and the cover just in a black with some lovely gold clips just going all the way around this one. Looking absolutely fantastic. In you go, and in you go. And nip around to the other side. We got the wishy-washy reservoir, then coolant reservoir C. So we've got B and C, not even A in there at all. Then we've got that little brake servo, and then we've got our stage 3-star ECU type B. In you go there, 7.8% additional power from that. Fantastic. Then we got our radiator, which is in a beautiful gold. The fan housing kit, which is in a metallic green with the two fans, obviously both in a gold on there. Looking quite nice, quite pleased with that one. Let's step away for a second and just have a look in there. All looks good. The black spring caps looking good, just poking up through the top, adding enough black and gold into what is a very green engine bay. There is some more gold coming, don't worry, as we go and build that beautiful Hellcat engine. Before we go and build the Hellcat engine, I've just remembered we've still got to go and do that battery, which is now down the back and can't be fitted. So the billet tray is in that lovely metallic green. Then we've got our 3-star performance battery, giving us 2.6% gain in power. Black bracket tray, and then a gold chrome bracket support arms. Absolutely fantastic in there. There we go. Just had to get that bit in as well. Now let's move on to that beautiful Hellcat engine. There she is, looking absolutely fantastic. Before we jump in, the block is green and steel black. That's how you get a bit of green on there, especially on the arm sticking up. I really like the look of that. The heads are steel black and gold, looking quite nice in there. Mostly the inside's in gold. This one's got a little extra arm. And then obviously the oil pan just in a black down there. This side's already done with all of the spark plugs, the rocker arms and the valve push rods, which are all in there somewhere. If we nip over to this side, we'll talk about them. So you can see each side has got 8 spark plugs. We got 1 extra to go in there. And then all these push rods are slightly all off center from each other, and I quite like it. We just got 1 more to go in just down there. In you go. Then we can get them rocker arms on top. Lots of bolts on these ones, but let's just get it going and all in and ready to go. That's enough for there. Let's move on to this beautiful timing cover. Oh, we've already got the cam gear and the timing chain in, obviously, and that camshaft. Timing cover is in a metallic green, looking very nice on there. In you go. Then we've got the water pump, which is in. I've just gone up to level 90. The water pump, which is in a black and gold, looking quite nice. Just a few little gold splashes on some of the parts there, just to keep that theme going on. Then we've got the alternator, which we've done in a forced paint gold on there, looking nice. The power steering pump is in a gold and black steel, just to keep in with that gold and black theme. Then we've got a beautiful gold crankshaft pulley. Then we've got the idle rollers, which are the performance parts versions from the TKAftermarket mod, which we've also got in the lovely gold. All 3-starred as well, just adding a little bit of extra power to this beautiful Hellcat engine. That's about it we can do for the moment. Let's get the oil filter on. It is in a green, ever so slightly different, not quite as much shine. I still wanted the lettering on it to look good. Let's move around. What can we do next? Should we just go... Let's go into the engine head covers first. These are in that metallic green from the body, looking very nice. In you go. and get you all bolted up. There are some kids playing outside. I apologize. Ignition coils are in a lovely little black. In you go, and in you go. Let's just get all of these in, and hopefully, can we do the fuel rail yet, or is that after the supercharger? Probably after the supercharger. Yes, after the supercharger. So let's get around and get the other side in. There we go, that's all in, and let's move up to this beautiful supercharger. We've got this one in gold, but it's in that steel black and gold. Just a few little accents on it popping up in the gold. I wish these bolts could have gone gold as well. Would have been absolutely fantastic. But we still got enough gold in it that it looks pretty good. And there is still more gold to come. For example, this idle roller, in you go, lovely gold. Then we've also got the throttle, which is in a gold and black steel. Just the flap in there in the black steel, looking very nice. Then we got a lovely little blacked out belt, if it would let me click on it. The water pump pulleys in the gold. And we also have another idle roller down here, just in the gold. Then we've got the belt, the other belt, wrapping all the way around there. With one more idle roller. And then a gold belt tensioner on there as well, just to finish off that front with plenty of gold. Then we got the fuel rails there in gold and black steel. You can see the actual rail itself in the gold. And then the little clips underneath are just in the black steel. Then if we go to the fuel rail covers, these are in gold and black steel. We've got the lettering up there and the little trim pieces in that black steel. It does look very good. I love these pieces. In you go, and in you go on there. Then we've got the fuel filter, which is just in a gold down the back. And then the exhausts, or the exhaust manifolds, are in a gold, and the rest of the exhaust is in a gold. Apart from one piece, which is in a gold and black steel. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's just get this other side in and bolted up. And that is looking absolutely incredible. I love this engine. I think that looks great in the green, the black, and the gold. Mostly black and gold on the engine. Just a few splashes of green. But let's get it dropped into our beautiful lucky Hellcat. In we go. Get you put in. Let's get this one put away. And see how good it looks. That's looking pretty good on there. Didn't do a very good job of that. What is the pitting? Oh, it's because of the metallicness. But never mind. There we go. Let's go up in the air and just have a quick look facing down a little bit. Plenty of gold in there. That's looking very, very nice. Liking that. Let's get it down, though. We've got to go up. Let's get it down to go up. There we go. A few more bits to go in. We've got the gearbox, the drive shaft, obviously that exhaust, and we do have some wheels to do as well. So let's crack on. Starting with the gearbox, which is in gold and black steel. You guessed it. Looking quite good. Just a few of the bolts on there and that oil pan for the actual gearbox in a beautiful gold. Then we've got the front exhaust sections in gold. Kids are back outside again. There we go. Middle muffler also in a gold. And then the rear muffler is in gold and black steel. We'll see that a little bit more in just a second. And then the last piece to go in is just that lovely drive shaft, which we've kept in a gold. I said that was the last piece. I forgot the starter, haven't I? So let's make sure we get around and get that starter in. Over we go to this side. Just got that one in a cheeky little green, just for a splash more. Looking good. Let's take a walk out underneath. Very good. I'm liking that. Black, gold, and green. And then just the red brake calipers at the end, just finishing it off. The exhaust tips are black on the outside and gold on the inside. And I think it really finishes it off quite nicely. Back down on the ground you go. Excuse me. I do love them exhausts. Looking fantastic. We've got a little bit left to do. We've got some liquids to top up. We've got some windows to tin and some beautiful Hellcat wheels to get on. Then we can get this lovely, lovely, lucky Hellcat outside in the sun. And hopefully its luck doesn't run out on the drag strip. There she is then, the lucky Hellcat. Looking absolutely beautiful. Black, green and gold. Such a good colour combination on there. Loving the exhaust tips at the back, especially. And the multicoloured bits on the rims. We'll talk about them in just a moment. Let's just take a quick look at that engine. Absolutely love that. I think it looks so good in there. Mostly black and gold on show, but obviously that green engine bay. So let's talk about these rims. We went for the Hellcat Challenger Hellcat B rims today. When we did the wide body, we used the A rims. So today I've gone with the B. And I've gone with the gold and steel black finish on them. So that we get the text and the bolts in gold. The rest of the rim in a steel black. The front rims are exactly as came on it as size-wise. It's just a 20-inch rim. 275 width with their 40 profile on there. Obviously with their Brembo brake calipers in there. Looking at quite nice. Down at the back, I did go a little bit bigger, but only a tiny little bit. It's a 21-inch rim, still 275 width, and still a 40 profile on there. Looking very good. I really like them rims. I think they look fantastic in the black and gold. We've obviously already checked out a bit of the interior. It doesn't look that much different. Mostly black, a little bit of green on the front seat, and then obviously all that green on the steering wheel. Sadly taken away from the buttons, but it looks so good in here. Let's just get this one started and see what it sounds like. It is exactly the same as the one in the wide-body Hellcat, so let's just give it some gas. Still sounding pretty mean. I love that supercharger whine on there. Beautiful sound. But let's get this one into the dyno. We have 3-starred everything performance. We have additional performance parts as well for the TK Aftermarket mod. So let's get it onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is going to be, what its drag racing will be, and compare it to the wide body. On the dyno with the standard Hellcat Challenger with its 6.2 Hemi Hellcat engine. Now, when we did the wide body, it had 707 starting horsepower, the same. We increased it by 617, 88%, bringing us up to 1,324. How much are we beating it by today? That's quite a bit. 899 horsepower gained. 617 is what we got on the wide body. That's the difference the 3-star performance parts and the TK Aftermarket extras make on that one. I did bring it up on the wide body to 1,324. We're now up to 1,605. That's so much of a bigger increase. And the drag rating is A, 860 for the standard Hellcat. The wide body, we managed to get it up to A, 701. So quite a big difference there with the 3-star performance parts and the extra bits from the TK Aftermarket as well, making this one just a little bit different than that wide body. Hopefully, we can demolish the drag strip tournament a little bit later. But let's have a look at the gearbox tuning we've gone for. There she is. I've kept all 8 gears in, and it's a 1.93 ratio. I haven't adjusted these at all anywhere. Just left them as they were and adjusted the final ratio. 98 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to a reported 658. I don't think we'll quite get there in the run of the drag strip, but we would need to find out what this top speed will be under the 1 mile. This one's obviously got a fully tuned, 3-star tuned ECU, ready to go. All 16%. There is a short linked up here, or a link in the video description below, or just go to my shorts and find out the easy ECU tuning. There are 2. There's my original one, and then the most recent one is the more up-to-date version. Let's go then. Let's get this beautiful, beautiful Lucky Hellcat onto the drag strip and try and win a tournament. We've got Lucky onto the drag strip. Let's just get into it. King of the Sands at 1 mile and A-class. We are up 860, quite near the top. Pay our 1,000 entry fee. Who have we got? Our first race is against the Ford Mustang RTR Fastback. Pretty epic there. Who have we got with us today? Let's have a look. Matteo in the Hamad Austral S Thor, the normal edition. We got Truck Fan in the Street Edition Hoonicorn. Buckshot in a Street Edition Hoonicorn as well. And that seems to be about it. Quite a few Hoonicorns, as we can see, listed on there. With just the RTR Fastback up there as well. So let's get on with our first race. The Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat versus the Ford Mustang RTR Fastback. Let's try and win. See, from here, you can't see any of the clover ghosting on the stripes. It just looks like black stripes, gold Hellcat logo, and black SRT. And that's kind of how I wanted it. I just wanted them clovers to pop in the sunlight. And that's really working for me, in my opinion. Anyway, onto the RTR Fastback. Looking amazing with the black and off dull gold rims. Looks absolutely beautiful. I still need to get round to doing one of them with some more mods. Make it a little bit more powerful. But we need to try and beat it today. So let's get in. Let's go. Come on, Lucky. You can do it off the line. Into second. That wasn't the best gear change. Into third. We are pulling away quite rapidly. Into fourth. But we know that Mustang likes to pick up speed later on. Into fifth. I don't know where it's gone. It's behind us somewhere. I'm not sure. How many gears are we going to need to use? 6 gears. Are we going to need to go into 7th? Or are we going to be all right in 6th? Probably be fine in 6th. Let's get across the line and see what sort of times we need to beat, or we've got. So our quarter of a mile time for the first run is a 9.748. Pretty good. The 1 mile is a 23.111 with a top speed of 373 kilometers an hour. Now, the wide body Hellcat did the quarter of a mile fastest time in a 9.973. The 1 mile in a 24.159 and a top speed of 357 kilometers an hour. So we've already beaten the wide body Hellcat with our super duper modified standard Hellcat, or Lucky as we've been calling it. So we've won our first race. Let's get into the second race. Try and make it towards that final. Well, Truck Fan and Buckshot are both out, which is a bit of a shame, but Matteo did make it through. Hopefully make it through to the final, and we'll also make it through to the final to make it a player versus player sort of showdown. But our next race is against the VM Abarth V12 Fiat 500. I know that thing's an absolute monster because I built it myself, and it's still in front of the shop. So let's get on with it. Let's try and beat it. That tiny little Fiat 500 always amuses me when I see it. It doesn't quite look the same without all the bonus parts, and the livery on it definitely looks better with all of that stuff on there as well. But are we going to be able to beat that tiny little shoebox in the absolute monster of a Challenger Hellcat? Let's just get in. Let's find out. Let's go. Come on, Hellcat, off the line, into second. Not the best gear change again. Into third. Where are we? Definitely way out in front as it stands at the moment. Is that Fiat spinning out or something? Into fifth. I can't see it. I can't hear it. I don't know what's going on. Not sure. Let's just get into top gear. Well, it's not top gear, but into sixth gear and get this Hellcat across the finish line and hopefully win. Make it into the next round. There we go. We did win. Happy with that. Is it better than our first run? No. We are getting slower. 9.832 to the quarter of a mile, which is definitely slower. 23.214 to the 1 mile. Yep, not as good again. And 373 kilometers an hour is the top speed. It is the same top speed, so that's pretty good. But let's just get on to the next one. We're edging ever so closer to that final. Can we do it with the standard Hellcat? Well, there we go. Matteo did make it through in a Hamad Austral S Thor edition up against the Ford Mustang RTR Unicorn version 1, theoretically with the Ken Block livery on it. We've now got to beat the McLaren F1 widebody, which has definitely been our downfall many a times. Are we going to be able to beat it today? I certainly hope so. We've got a few extra performance parts in this one, and they're all 3-starred. Come on, Dodge Challenger. Let's beat the widebody McLaren F1. Has Lucky's luck run out, or are we going to be able to beat that widebody McLaren F1 down the drag strip? I don't think so, but we do need to find out. So let's just get in. Let's go. Come on, off the line, into second. That was a much better gear change. Into third. Come on, little beast, into fourth. Where's the McLaren? Yeah, pulling away from us as I expected. Kind of what I had thought would happen in this race, but it is what it is. We almost made it to the final. Just a shame we can't face off against Matteo to make it a player versus player final. But never mind, let's get across the line and see if this was our best run of the day. 9.716 to the quarter of a mile is our best run of the day to the quarter of a mile. Happy with that one. 23.101 to the 1 mile, slightly better than our first run. And 374 kilometers an hour, so we got an extra kilometer an hour in the top speed as well there. Although we did sadly go out to that McLaren F1 a wide body. Bit of a shame, but we still have some winnings, although they're probably not going to knock off the 8,966 we were down from the very beginning. So let's go and collect our winnings, see who's going to take the final, who's going to win this round. Let's go and have a look, then get this beautiful Hellcat back to the garage and decide what we're going to do with it. Such a shame we couldn't make it through. It would have been us versus Matteo, but never mind. It is Matteo versus the McLaren F1 widebody, the Hamad Austral S Thor edition. Will it be able to take the win? Let's find out. No, the McLaren F1 widebody was always going to take that one. I did kind of think that. But there we go. We made 2,250, which is a bit of a shame. We definitely wanted to make some more, but we didn't make it through to the final. We went out. Technically, we only won 2 races. We lost our 3rd race. So I'll take the winnings nonetheless. Does knock off some of our entry fee and things like that. Let's get back to the garage and decide if we're going to sell or keep Lucky. All finished with the last DLC car, the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Standard Edition. Absolutely loving it. We managed to do the quarter of a mile in a 9.716 with this bad boy. The 1 mile in a 23.101 with a top speed of 374 kilometers an hour from this monstrous beast. I absolutely love this. I think it looks beautiful. Our lucky Dodge Challenger looking beautiful. Let's talk some facts and figures. I bought the car for $66,984 and could have sold it and lost out on $8,966 at the very beginning, but we obviously didn't do that. We spent another $90,511 upgrading, painting, modifying, tuning, and getting this car ready to head up the drag strip like you saw just a moment ago. Putting our total spend at $157,400 6,495. Is there some money to be made from this beautiful Hellcat? And are we going to sell it, or are we going to keep it and have it in display in front of the shop? What do you think we should do? Let me know in the comments. Well, there it is, all 100% finished, looking beautiful. And that engine ramped up so much thanks to 3-star performance parts and the TKAftermarket mod, bringing it up from 707 factory horsepower, gaining 899, 128%, bringing us up to that beautiful 1,605 horsepower from the 6.2 Hemi Hellcat V8. Loving that one. But we did spend quite a bit of money to get there. 157,495. Is there some money to be made? With a sale of 249,403, there definitely is. That leaves us with 91,908 profit from this beautiful Hellcat. Plus our drag strip winnings, a little bit low, only 2,250. Does bring us up to 94,158. But before we move on, let's just do a quick list of all of the cars that we've done. So the top 10 of the 10 cars and configs featured in the DLC. Coming in last place, 10th place, is the Chrysler Cordoba with 13.881 seconds to the quarter of a mile. In 9th place is the Dodge Charger RT with 11.040 seconds. In 8th, we've got the Chrysler 300C with 10.859 seconds. In 7th place, the Plymouth Roadrunner 426 Hemi with a 10.728. In 6th place is the Plymouth Roadrunner 440, where we used TKAftermarket mods, so we did get a bit more performance out of that one, coming in at a 10.563 seconds. In 5th place, we have the Plymouth Barracuda with a 10.233 seconds. 4th place is the Dodge Challenger RT, the classic one, with a 10.175 seconds. In 3rd place is the Dodge Challenger Hellcat Wide Body with a 9.973. In 2nd place, is it the Charger or the Challenger? Charger? Is it the Viper or the Challenger? 2nd place is the Challenger Hellcat we did today with 3-star performance parts and the TKAftermarket mods also 3-starred. Coming in at 9.716 seconds. And then obviously 1st place is that beautiful Dodge Viper GTS Standard with a 9.587 seconds to the quarter of a mile. Absolutely fantastic there. Little demonstration just on screen for you. What are we doing with this though? Are we selling it? Are we keeping it? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it, and it's going to go in place with the Porsche, I think. We're going to keep, thank you French Toast for suggesting that I do keep the Fiat 500 there. Keep the Audi, as that was my most recent competition entry. The Huna Pegasus will stay there forevermore, as it was my homage to Ken Block when he sadly passed away. Thank you French Toast for creating that one. So we're going to get rid of the Porsche, and we're going to place it with the standard Hellcat, or Lucky, as we've been calling it today. Absolutely fantastic. There is money to be made from this one, but I don't want to sell it. But that's all of it. That's all of the new DLC cars done. Even did you a little top 10 for all of the cars available. What have we got coming up next, though? We are back into the mods. I've been saying this for ages, and nobody wanted to comment which jumpy game, which model they wanted to see me do. So we have gone for the McLaren P11, the 675 LT MSO edition. Now, I don't know what the MSO stands for. I want to say it's the molded scoop option, but, you know, I don't know. But anyway, let's jump back into this. Absolutely fantastic. There's so many different models. I'm not going to say where they can come from and things like that anymore, because there's too many to vary, and they all could be slightly different. We got ours from the auction house, though, and it's in pretty good condition, apart from that bodywork's a little low. But apart from that, everything looks all right. Did we get a good deal on it? No, not even close. Wow, I bought it for 222,883 and could only sell it for 186,021, losing out on 36,862 before we even begin. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to claw that one back or not. The engine in this one is the V8 double overhead cam AXK TRS-M, which is the mid-engined twin-turbo AXK engine with 666 factory horsepower. Very unlucky for some, that number. Obviously, that will change once we've added loads of performance parts to it. It's going to be pretty epic. This is what we're going to be building on Wednesday. So do make sure you come and join us back here on Wednesday for the beautiful McLaren 675 LT MSO edition. Absolutely loving that one. I think it looks beautiful. What do you think of Lucky, our beautiful standard Dodge Challenger? Absolutely fantastic. I love that livery. Do you want to see it on the workshop? Do let me know in the comments below. Leave a cheeky little thumbs up. Don't forget to make sure you are subscribed and share this video if you think somebody else might enjoy it. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a beautiful weekend. Have a fantastic day. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.